In terms of the process itself, you've got stakeholder analysis, and then we come up with a development of the communication plan. There's something called a communication plan again, and implement the communication plan and evaluate the communication activities. Again, when you talk about plan or these kind of things, it is more theoretical. So just make sure that you understand this and perhaps take a note of this for the exam purpose, but we don't have something like a communication plan as a template. We follow it in a day-to-day project basis. Again, this is what you need to really clearly understand what is practically done and what is really useful for the exam from the IABA point of view. So these two are different things, okay? But the tools that we're using for those kind of things I mentioned, right? For example, the PIG and the RACI matrix, they're good, they're practical. Some of them I have used practically for my own projects before. But these communication plans and all are like, we have got a basic understanding really. So we don't have to come up with writing about a 15-page document. This is the communication plan and all that. So we agree, and then we go about doing that, typically, practically speaking. So just keep that in your mind as we progress. A communication plan, typically they say that you'll have a deliverable, what is the type, target audience, delivery method, delivery frequency. This is common sense, right? So you know what it is. So status report. What is a status report? You send a status report mandatory. You say you send it off to the project sponsors, the managers. Could be sent in the form of a paper, or nowadays obviously it is emailed, and then monthly or weekly. Again, this is basically an example of a typical communication plan. You can have your own way of doing it things, but then it will, as we discussed, it really depends on the context, on the respective stakeholders and the specific personalities as well, and their attitudes and preferences as well. So it's highly debatable whether this is, so it's just an example of what we're seeing. And then local awareness building sessions. So basically you're talking about how the team would know about what's happening. So just invite a few people, talk to them, and then say that this is what is happening. Or I think you were talking about some of the initiatives that you have taken within your own community, right? So for example, that could be a similar thing. So you're doing all the work on their behalf, and you're just updating them. By the way, I just sent this letter out to the council, and this is what the council has told me. You don't have to really. So all of this is basically the kind of work. So examples of this one, awareness building sessions. So again, this could be something like a workshop that you could potentially do with the respective team. So you can involve them. You can actually call them out in a meeting. You can present your proposals. You can present the potential set of opportunities, problems, and you can discuss what the solutions could be. And then you can invite their views and opinions on this one. So again, all of these are examples. So again, audience, message, what is the message? And then how do you want to send that message across? And then how often, how frequently that needs to be done, and the responsibility. So if it's a steering committee, you will need to send the status reports, strategies, issues, budget, technology requirements, changes to corporate business process, changes to the project plan, changes to timelines, any effect or risks, potential risks also you can include here. And then in terms of the, how would you communicate with them? You can have meetings, you can have formal reports, you can have demos to them. And this can be done once a month because they're too busy otherwise, right? They don't want to get involved with every day-to-day stuff. Or when there is a problem, you just need to inform them immediately. Something like an escalation that could potentially happen. And management committee, advisory committee, you can have implementation scope, risk, objectives, all of these. You can send the issues, you can send budget, technology requirements. These are people who are the project board, for example, the senior project management advisory board, the quality assurance board, and things like that. People, and the steering committee, for example, all of those would be the kind of a typical project level. This is not the organizational level. So this project level, at this particular level, you've got, again, a core project committee or core project steering committee. So these are the kind of things that you would like to involve for them. Again, meetings, formal reports and demos, roughly monthly, and then depending on the event, it could be event driven as well. And if you've got any customer reported defect, for example, they could be informed. If it's a really high severity customer report, a showstopper issue, that was reported by the customer, then we can just consult those people, the steering committee, project level steering committee, ask them what should be done, should we stop what we were doing, and then address this issue that customer reported, because it's very important, very urgent. So you can kind of call for a quick meeting, or you can send out the action taken report, ATRs, sometimes. Then project implementation team, this is the usual delivery team, development delivery team. Obviously we need to meet often. In fact, with Agile, it's every day, isn't it? So with Agile, the stand up, and because sprint planning, sprint review, retrospective, and everything is totally Agile nowadays. With all these things now, it's more transparent with Agile. Departmental administrators and people who are just at that, who again, these are the people who do not have any say in the project, but they just need to be kept informed occasionally. So these are the people you send an email basically, and then just occasionally, once every 3 months, 6 months, you just send them an email or a brochure or something like what, this is the memo about the new product, new feature that we launched, and this is the feedback and all that. So again, very, very high level kind of a thing. And end users, obviously, you need to inform them about the release, about the new release, new feature, new bugs, any defects that have been fixed. So very, very important. You need to send an email. If they subscribe to any text, you need to send them. And you also need to inform them almost every release. So that every release could be, a major release could be every 3 months, every 6 months. So you should keep them informed in terms of what's happening with the new release, what is packed in that, what are the changes, what are the new requirements, new features, what are the defects that have got fixed, what are the things that have got changed, what are the known issues. So all of them, you kind of let these guys know, let the end users know.